Einen wunderschönen Willkommen zum heutigen Abend. Willkommen zu einer weiteren Runde The Darkest Files. Und beim letzten Mal haben wir sauber und ordentlich den ersten Fall beendet. Boah, ist das hier warm. Und ich würde mal behaupten, ich weiß nicht, ob jetzt fortsetzen, genau dort fortsetzt im Intro. Ansonsten für die YouTuber letzte Folge gucken. Da gab es so eine kleine Zwischensequenz, ich glaube, ne, von ihr. Wie ein bis dato unbekanntes Mädchen, mit dem sie gespielt hatte, eben halt dann verschwunden ist. Nimmer sehen. Ich glaube, wir können erahnen, möglicherweise, was da passiert ist. Teil 2, die Plünderin. Okay, die Zwischensequenz kommt nicht. Deswegen da gucken. Und hier drüben mal wieder das Bild umschalten. Noch klicken. Dann geht es los. So. Schauen wir mal, was haben wir denn was Neues? Haben wir was Neues überhaupt? Oh, sportlich, schlank, erfolgreich. Warum Fitness zum neuen Statussymbol? Gut. Vitamine für den Winter, was Sportler jetzt essen sollen. Letzter Kraft, Marco Bolz gewinnt Frankfurter Radrennen. 50 Filme.
Last month's Motortrends and a Birgit from last year. Wouldn't be my first reading choice, but with how long you have to wait for a prosecutor.
Huch.
Huh? Damn it, Katz! Did your parents forget to teach you how to knock?
Habe ich?
I did knock, Peters. You just didn't hear it.
You startled me. What do you want?
I'm looking for Christoph. Do you know where he is?
Good luck with that. He's in Hamburg, prepping for a case. I doubt he'll be back this week.
Okay.
Working on something important, Peters?
Yes, same case I already told you about. And it's still a real pain in the ass. I know I'm getting somewhere, but it's just too slow.
Later, Peters.
Good morning, Miss Katz. There are some new letters for you. I left them on your desk.
Ach ja, außerdem ist irgendjemand dort drinnen, ne? In seinem Raum. Macht Dinge. Na?
Don't you look majestic up there? Keeping watch?
What? Where? Oh, how did she get there?
Ja, wie beim letzten Mal, würde ich mal sagen. Hier ist ja was Neues. Hallo. Oh,
So many dishes in the sink.
wer macht die sauber?
Surprised no one has complained yet. Does anybody actually cook here?
Neuigkeiten des Tages. Suezkanalkrise endlich gelöst. Mit Eisenhowers Eingreifen scheint die Situation entschärft zu sein. Die Truppen bleiben. Die Truppen der UdSSR bleiben in Rumänien, da Bukarest eine Vereinbarung mit Moskau getroffen hat. Eine wunderbare Symphonie. Die 10. Symphonie von Heitor Villa-Lobos wird vom French Radio National Orchestra uraufgeführt. Mord durch Verleumdung. Eine dramatische Szene spielte sich heute Morgen im kanadischen Konsulat in Kairo ab, als Egerton Norman, Ottawas Botschafter in Ägypten, sich das Leben nahm, nachdem er Opfer einer, wie es heißt, ungerechten Hexenjagd war. Okay, kennen wir ein bisschen. Leider viel zu gut. Bevor Sie gehen. Das Bundesinnenministerium erinnert alle deutschen Staatsbürger daran, die Einreisebestimmung für Reisen zu überprüfen. Für die Einreise nach Belgien, Luxemburg, Frankreich und in die Schweiz benötigen alle Bürger einen Personalausweis. Für alle anderen europäischen Länder, einschließlich Spanien, Jugoslawien und die Ostblockländer, ist ein Reisepass erforderlich. Vertrannt. Was ist denn Vertrannt? Der sieht aus wie ein Trabant. Ja, mal im Ernst, das ist doch ein Trabant. Moment. Gab es ein Auto, was Vertrannt hieß? Es gibt ein Fat Rand. Das ist ein Trabant, das ist ein Trabi-Kombi, beziehungsweise eine Kombination davon. Das hier ist ein Trabi-Kombi. Gab es in Westdeutschland, also in den 60er Jahren oder so, nee, ist ja nicht 60er, doch ist 60er. Gab es da sowas? Nuklearwaffen in Deutschland. Auf seiner Pressekonferenz am Montag sprach sich Bundeskanzler Konrad Adenauer für die Stationierung von Atomwaffen auf deutschem Boden aus. Er rechtfertigte dies, indem er die Bevölkerung an die ständig wachsende Bedrohung aus dem Osten erinnerte und dass diese Bomben als eine bloße Weiterentwicklung der Artillerie bezeichnete. Was ja eigentlich auch stimmt. Okay.
The door is locked. The door is locked. The door is locked.
Alles lockt hier.
So many plants. Someone here has quite the green thumb.
Aber ist auch gut so, ne? Ist doch vernünftige Luftfeuchte und Klima.
Miss Katz.
Thank you, Paula.
Und man kann die Tür... Ja, doch jetzt. Ich stand im Weg. Guck, ob irgendwas Neues ist. Esther, mein Schatz. Ich weiß, es ist erst eine Woche her, dass wir miteinander gesprochen haben, aber es kommt mir so viel länger vor. Ich schreibe dir, während ich auf deinen Vater warte. Das ist der erste Moment, in dem ich nach unserer Landung wieder zu Atem komme. Wir gehen heute Abend ins Theater und wie immer kann er seine Krawatte nicht finden. Der Mann wäre ohne uns zwei Frauen aufgeschmissen, oder? New York hat eine Schönheit, die die Bilder nicht wiedergeben können. Du kannst die Hoffnung und Träume der Menschen hier einfach spüren. Das ist nicht wie in Frankfurt. Leider kann man sie auch riechen, ganz zu schweigen von dem Müll auf der Straße. Trotzdem ist es ein magischer Ort und wir haben gerade erst angefangen, ihn zu erkunden. Es ist so schade, dass du nicht die Zeit gefunden hast, uns zu begleiten. Du hast es dir mehr als verdient bei der hervorragenden Arbeit, die du mit deinem Rebellen geleistet hast. Dein Dr. Bauer hat keine Ahnung, was für ein Juwel er da in den Händen hält. Du solltest vorsichtig mit ihm sein. Lass dich nicht von ihm runterziehen, wenn er scheitert. Und er wird scheitern. Dein Vater kommt die Treppe hoch. Er ist wohl fertig. Pass auf dich auf, mein Schatz, und lass dich nicht unterkriegen. In Liebe, Mutti. Ach, Mutti. 4. April. Mit einem Hund. Ne? Bis jetzt sind für heute keine Termine vorgesehen. Wehrpflicht tritt in Kraft. Erste 10.000 Rekruten rücken ein. Heute begann für rund 10.000 junge Männer der Dienst der Bundeswehr. 12 Jahre nach Kriegsende wird damit die Wehrpflicht in der Bundesrepublik wieder eingeführt. Verteidigungsminister Strauß betonte die Notwendigkeit dieses Schrittes angesichts der sowjetischen Bedrohung. Die Opposition kritisierte die Maßnahme scharf. Bereits im Vorjahr hatten 1.000 Freiwillige in den Dienst angetreten. Die Grundausbildung der neuen Rekruten soll 3 Monate dauern. Todesurteile im Budapester Aufstandsprozess. Budapest, ein sogenanntes Volksgericht, verhängte heute in einem Schauprozess gegen 11 Teilnehmer des Oktoberaufstands 3 Todesurteile. Die Verurteilten wurden der Konterrevolution und des Hochverrats beschuldigt. Ministerpräsident Kadar setzt damit einen harten Kurs gegen die Aufständischen fort. Der Prozess ist Teil einer umfassenden Säuberungswelle nach der blutigen Niederschlagung durch sowjetische Truppen im November. Westliche Beobachter verurteilten die Vorgehensweise als politisch motivierte Rechtsprechung. Weitere Verfahren sind bereits geplant. Ist noch mal eine Zeitung? Ach, das war die Zeitung. Okay, dann, oh.
Miss Katz, there's a man here asking to see you. Walter Hentz? I don't think he has an appointment.
Did he say what he wants from me?
He says he has a case about one Miss sorry, one moment. He wants to talk to you about one Anna Kazmirek.
Okay.
I wonder what's that about. I'll be with him shortly in the conference room.
Hätten ihn abweisen können.
Mona's Gaststätte. If the wine is good, I'd probably be a regular customer by the end of the year. Oh, hello, Marlene. Oh, I'm glad you are so cooperative. Good morning. I've been told you wanted to see me. Mr. Hentz, was it?
Walter Hentz, a pleasure. You're the one from the old man, right? The rebel with the flag?
Hans Naumann. And he was not the rebel. That was the entire
Is this the only case you have ever solved?
While I do appreciate the nice conversation, I must ask, why are you here?
Right. Not one for small talk, are you now? I'm here on behalf of my wife. She wishes she could do it herself, but her health isn't what it... Honestly, Tessie's never been a beacon of health, but it has been getting worse and...
Mr. Hens, the case?
It's about her girl, Anna. Anna Kazmirek. She was only 19 when they killed her. When they, had her killed.
What do you mean by that? Who had her killed?
You lot. Lawyers, judges, the whole circus. Sent her to the guillotine for looting, called her a traitor to the nation. She was innocent.
You'll have to explain that.
That's why I'm here. Do you remember the bombing of Brunswick in '44?
Nein.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar.
Figures. Only so many tragedies one can remember without going mad. The whole city almost burned down. I doubt any words could ever give it justice. The Tommies hit us overnight. They lit the whole city like a Christmas tree when they started the firestorm. Come morning, nothing was left of the old town, and not much of everything else.
Christmas tree? That's a peculiar analogy.
Not really. It's how we called their markers. They drop flares of various colors, lighting up the panorama like, well, a Christmas tree.
A firestorm?
That's what it's called. Have you ever seen a pillar of flame rising to the sky, Miss Katz? Not a sight I'd wish on anybody.
That's terrible. I am sorry I have to ask, but how is it connected to the case?
Anna lost everything that day, other than her mother. Their place was hit by a bomb. The whole block, gone in an instant. Not a stone left standing.
Tell me about Anna.
She was a good kid, no matter what they say. Mixed parentage from her mother's side, Prussian-Polish family. It earned her more than a few side eyes. Anna had to work hard for it. Someone had to look after the family. But she was a young girl. She wanted to have fun when she could.
Her mother? You mentioned she's your wife?
Yes, Tessie, Teresa Hens. She was born out east, a small village in, would be Masovia now? Poland.
Okay.
Came to Brunswick with her husband after the First War. Had Anna on the way, in a train car. She had always been delicate, both in her body and, well, you know, mind. Again, she sends her apologies for not being here herself.
Here's a Bild.
When did you and Therese marry?
A few months after the execution. It wasn't love, just the right thing to do. With Anna gone, she had no one to take care of her, and she was in no position to provide for herself. I was doing well with my pub, so I offered to help. It's not the most romantic of stories. The morning after the bombing, Anna went to the ruins. Spent the whole day digging through the rubble, searching for, well, anything.
You mean the ruins of the house?
Yes, an older tenement house for some of the lower classes. Not the first place they lost. Believe it or not, it was actually their third home destroyed by the bombings.
Irgendwas anderes hier?
You said she was sentenced for looting. I'm sorry, but I have to ask, did she loot anything?
No. She had found a few things, but everything belonged to her or her mother. Anna was no thief.
Aber weil sie nämlich diejenige war, die sie war.
Do you know what she found?
I know of a few things. Her mother's scarf and coat, fur, a pair of boots, and a crucifix from back east. Then some knickknacks, a family photo, a few pieces from her mother's cutlery set, clothes probably. All in all, barely enough to fill a bag or two, and a suitcase supposedly.
Und jemand hat sie gesehen und hat das gemeldet.
Were you there with her?
If only, but I was nowhere near. I only learned about any of this when it was already too late. It happened a few days later. I was at my place when Heidi came, begging for help.
Were you affected by the bombing?
No, I had a small apartment above my pub. Luckily, it was out of the way, so the Tommies didn't target that area.
And who's Heidi?
Grunewald, Heidi Grunewald. A close friend of Anna. Both of them had been assigned to the same emergency shelter.
She asked for your help? Help with what?
Someone had planted a suitcase in Anna's room and accused her of stealing it from the ruins. The police came and, for some reason, the bastard seemed dead set on making the accusation true. That's what it was about at first. No treason, no looting, just a simple theft. And not even that was true.
Das typische Muster wurde dann platziert, um jemand anderen zu beschuldigen, nur
What
weil
did you do?
Herkunft.
I followed her to the shelter, of course, running through the city. But we were too late. The bastards must have grown tired of Anna denying their accusations, decided to make her confess. They beat it out of her. By the time we arrived, they were long gone, leaving the kids. It was bad.
The kids? Somebody was still there?
Yes, two of them. Anna's boyfriend. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. And the Becker's girl, Emilia. Poor sods. They saw it all and couldn't do jack to stop it.
Emilia Becker. Who was she?
Her family was also placed in that shelter. Shop owners. Local girls, stuck up. They knew each other with Anna and Heidi. I don't think they got on too well.
Verstanden sie nicht gut, sie hatte polnische Wurzeln, vielleicht sogar noch den Typen, den sie auch haben wollte oder toll fand.
What can you tell me about Anna's boyfriend?
They had dated for a while. Can't say how long. I've seen him around, but I can't say I remember much. Military sort, I think. Heidi would know more. You'll have to ask her.
Ich befürchte, in welche Richtung das abdriftet.
Where was that?
Can't give you the address. It was a temporary emergency shelter, one of many. A once upper-end flat, run down and filled with as many people who lost their homes to the bombing as they could squish. Cramped, but a roof over their head. I kept it together as much as I could. Tried talking to them, get them to tell me what happened. Wasn't an easy job.
Wollte eigentlich da noch.
How did Heidi react?
Bad. She took it hard. Not one to cry, though. She went with anger instead. Started yelling at the boy that he was supposed to keep them there. Didn't get much of a reaction.
Weil schockiert ist.
The boyfriend, what did he do?
He was curled up in a corner, sobbing. A sad sight. Wouldn't calm down. For a long while, he didn't even respond to anything we said.
Er mitbekommen hat, was letztendlich jetzt passiert, dass er seine Freundin nie wieder sieht.
The Becker girl, what was she doing?
Avoiding us. She had locked herself in her family's room before we arrived and refused to come out.
So, what happened? What's the case?
The case is that Anna was innocent and they took her. They beat her. They killed her. Tortured her until she said what they wanted, confessed to something she didn't do. And then they cut her head off.
Can you tell me something more about this Heidi Grunewald?
Local girl, strong, hard. All of the Grunwalds were. Good people, but poor people, and quite a lot of them, each with a mouth to feed. Heidi was yay big the first time they pulled her. Gave the rascal her first night in a cell, pickpocketing. Gave her a job right after that, to keep her off the street. Gave one to Anna soon after. They were already friends.
Mr. Hens, why did she come to you specifically?
I had some previous encounters with the Force, unavoidable for a business owner. Well, let's not sugarcoat it. I had a file at the district. Nothing serious, but enough for me to learn how to talk with the blokes. Even find a few sympathetic ears down at the station. Heidi hoped I could talk to them. The next day, they put her on trial. A sham. Nobody was allowed to testify. There was no proof. Her lawyer just sat there, silent. And they changed the accusation, made it a case of looting instead of theft. A treasonous act for some reason.
Why did they change the accusation?
To hell if I know. Maybe they wanted a show. Or the policeman wanted a promotion and made it out to be a bigger crime. Or whoever made up the whole story of her crime decided it needed more flair.
And that's why they gave her the death sentence?
Yes, some law allowed them to do it, because they made her a so-called folk pest, a traitor. I tried to learn more on what really happened there, why it happened. But as a civilian, they wouldn't give me much. All I have is here. This and my wife. Once she feels better, she wants to testify.
Your wife's testimony? What could she tell us? Was she present at the arrest?
No, but they used her against Anna. A few days after the trial, they came demanding she denounce her own daughter. Threatened her with complicity, promised lenience if she cooperated. They fed her word for word the lies, the calumnies to write and sign about her own daughter, about that damn suitcase. She can tell you the truth. She wants to tell you the truth. She's adamant she can prove there was no crime in the first place.
Mr. Hens, I'm terribly sorry. But while this story is awful, I am a prosecutor. It is not for me to prove people's innocence. On the contrary, I accuse them.
But you should accuse them, Miss Katz.
Ja, wen?
All of them. Every single one of the bastards. The bastard who planted a damn suitcase in her room and called the cops, knowing full well it would get her killed. The policeman who tortured her until she said what they wanted to hear. Her lawyer, her judge, especially the judge.
I'll check what of this is actually punishable and whether we can start an investigation.
Thank you, Miss Katz. Thank you. I leave our number with your secretary. We'll keep in touch regarding Tessie's health. Arrange a time for her to appear.
But I can't make any promises yet.
I know. Still, thank you for giving it a chance.
Oh, das
The
ist so
case might be
traurig.
for us after all. I'd better talk to Mr. Bauer.
Er ist nicht da.
Oh, hello, Marlene. Meow.
Mr. Hens told me about his wife's situation. Left me their number. Though I can't say I'm happy with him calling me a secretary. I'll keep in contact should you and Mr. Bauer decide to take the case.
I haven't seen Christoph today. Do you know where he is?
He's in Hamburg.
Oh, must be nice to get away from the office once in a while.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. He's following a lead for his case. Probably stuck in the court archives.
How is Mr. Bauer doing?
He had a meeting with the Minister of Justice in the morning. As per usual, left him in a foul mood. He smokes so much when he goes to these things.
How are you today?
Can't complain. I might even have a little date planned for the evening.
Oh,
My husband got us 2 tickets for Frankenstein. I just hope Mr. Bauer won't have me stay late. It's been forever since we had an evening just to ourselves.
fingers crossed. Thank you, Paula.
Miss Katz, it's always good to see you.
Okay. About
I
Firewood.
take it our unexpected guest has piqued your curiosity.
Ja.
I didn't realize you knew about it already.
Miss Fisher keeps me updated, and I must admit, I've vested some interest in his case. Or Miss Kazmierek's case, I should say. I assume that is why he came.
I think we should take this case.
Miss Katz, I understand your sentiment, but we don't really prove people's innocence here.
But we can prove other people's guilt. The crimes committed against Miss Kazmierek, our victim.
An interesting approach. Very well, color me intrigued. What are your leads?
Mr. Hens gave me 2 names, Heidi Grunewald and Emilia Becker. Both of them had previous history with Miss Kazmirek and were present at her arrest.
Their testimonies would make for a good starting point. But there is more, I hope.
There's the victim's mother, Teresa Kazmirek. She's now married to Mr. Hens. She wants to testify, but it's made difficult by her health. They'll be in touch as soon as she's able to come. She wants to set the record straight about a false opinion or testimony she was forced to give. And more importantly, she believes she can prove Anna committed no crime in the first place.
Oh, that would make the case quite a bit easier, almost realistic. But there is more, I hope.
There are a few witnesses to Anna Kazmirek's arrest I still need to identify. The policemen themselves, of course, and the victim's boyfriend. Sadly, Mr. Hens couldn't remember his name.
It should easily come up in the investigation. Same case for the officers.
Then there's the documents, of course, from the arrest and the trial. The denunciation itself, if we're lucky.
Wouldn't that be something? Very well, I don't think I have any questions. I agree it's a good case for us. For you, more specifically, the investigation is yours, Miss Katz.
Yep.
The case of Anna Kazmirek versus, well, who?
Justiz.
To start, there are 3 things I believe would serve you well to explore. First, the inciting incident. Why did the police come? How did they know about Anna and her potential crime? Then the most obvious, the beating. Did Anna confess of her own will, or was she coerced? And last, but quite interesting, if the police were there to arrest her for theft, why was she tried for looting and treason instead?
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Bauer.
The pleasure's all mine, as per usual. Now I believe you've got your work cut out for you.
I should start with the files. If the case was investigated before, there should be something in the archive. And the law that Mr. Hens mentioned, I should ask Paula to find the exact reference.
How did it go?
We have a new case. I need you to start digging up files immediately.
Right, goes without saying.
We know of 5 witnesses who were present at the time of the crime, but we only have 2 names. And we have the victim's mother willing to testify, once her health allows it, whenever that would be. Heidi Grunewald, a friend and co-worker of Anna. She's the reason why Mr. Hens knew of the situation. She should be able to tell us what happened. And she might know the name of another witness, the victim's boyfriend.
Should I invite her?
Yes.
On it.
The policeman who took Anna. I need to know how many there were, their names and where they are now. Anything you can find.
I'll do my best.
One of the witnesses that Mr. Hens recognized was the victim's boyfriend. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to give us his name. I know there isn't much to go on, but can you start looking for him?
I'll do my best.
I need you to find me the decree about the folk pest law. It would seem it was used in Anna's case to justify a verdict.
Reich Law Gazette 168. This one I know by memory. I'll have a copy for you by tomorrow.
Okay.
Miss Katz.
Okay.
Thank you, Paula.
Oh, be careful when you go downstairs.
Warum?
Someone just broke the window. Again.
I never thought our office would be the crime scene. Or that I'd get used to it. Not where I'd expect to find this office, to be honest. But it's a nice corner of Frankfurt nonetheless. I should try the coffee at Café Selten sometime. I've heard good things.
Tja. Aber gefährlich ist es.
What a mess, as always.
Okay.
And what's that? Did someone forget their files? Looks like something from Peter's investigation. It's not like him to just leave this lying around.
Vielleicht hat er es nicht liegen lassen. Warte mal.
Yes?
Are these files yours?
What? Yes. Jesus. How? Where did you get them?
They were in the archive on the desk.
On the desk. Shit. They must have slipped out when I was packing up. Well, did you read them?
Nein.
No, I didn't.
Remember when I told you of this game the guards had at the camps? With the cap throwing.
Ja.
And shooting the prisoners who went to pick them up as escapees.
The file you found is a testimony about this. It's an account of one of such murders. The victim's name was Elisha Kalka, Jewish male, born in 1894 in Krakow. He arrived at Auschwitz in late 40 and was killed in early 41. The witness even gives a date, but I'm not sure about it.
That's horrible.
Yes, well, horrible, of course, but hardly rare. Anyway, thank you for finding it. I can't believe I didn't even notice it was gone.
I wanted to hear your opinion about my new case. Or rather, an old case. It's from Brunswick.
Let me stop you right there, Katz. I have no intention of doing your job for you. And I'm busy.
Ich bin da bloß der Meinung.
Ugh, but if you say Brunswick, that's Bauers' old territory. You'll probably find something in the archives.
Aha. Okay.
Oh, hello, Marlene. Oh, I'm glad you are so cooperative.
Ja. Tür zu hier. Zieht. 5 AK 56 14 8. 5 AK. Da ist er. Im Namen des Volkes.
There's nothing left for me to do. I should call it a day.
In dem Strafverfahren gegen Anna Kasmiric wegen Plünderung und freiwillig geräumten Gebäuden. Freiwillig? Erkennt das Sondergericht in Braunschweig als rechtmäßig an. Die Angeklagte ist in allen Anklagepunkten schuldig und wird deshalb als Volksschädling und Verräter des deutschen Volkes zum Tod durch die Guillotine verurteilt. Das Urteil stützt sich auf das eigene Geständnis der Angeklagten, das in keiner Weise angefochten worden war. Es sei angemerkt, dass keine Beweise oder Zeugen für den Angeklagten vorgelegt wurden, wobei die Verteidigung das Urteil in unserem Ermessen stellte. In Anbetracht des vernichtenden Mangels an Fürsprechern für den Charakter der Angeklagten und der verwerflichen Art und Weise, in der sie die größte Not ihrer Mitbürger ausgenutzt hat, muss die Strafe gemäß § 1 des Erlasses gegen Staatsfeinde der Tod sein. Daran kann auch die Jugend der Angeklagten nichts ändern. Alter. Du kannst doch nicht markieren, ne? Ich, Anna Kasmirek, gestehe hiermit im Vollbesitz meiner geistigen und körperlichen Kräfte und vollem Bewusstsein meiner Rechte das Verbrechen der Plünderung am Morgen des 16. Oktober 1944. Nach der Bombardierung Braunschweigs durch eine niederträchtige britische Luftwaffe habe ich mich herausgeschlichen und das ausgebrannte Haus betreten, in dem ich gewohnt habe. Ich betrat das Haus meiner Nachbarin Emilia Becker, weil ich wusste, wo sie ihre Wertsachen aufbewahrte. Motiviert durch niedere Instinkte, meine Charakterschwäche und Neid, habe ich Emilia Beckers Koffer gefunden und ihn gestohlen. Okay, ich glaube, ich ahne, in welche Richtung es läuft. Was ich schon vermutet habe.